Hey, I'm kind of excited to see this one and running into the PCS, the start of the second last day. Nightstar, it is just comps that I'm waiting for everyone to pile in on top of each other.
Yeah, we've got a lot of circle action, right? You've got the
Yeah.
Galio ultimate, you've got the Kennen ultimate, a lot of circles. So Venn diagrams, I know, some of our viewers might not have seen those in a long time, but we're going to see a lot of overlapping circles, whether or not it's, the Rise ultimate, the Tom Kench W, maybe even the Volibear Thundering. So lots to keep track of.
That's right, Nightstar. Now, my computer seems to be completely outdated on this one. You might have to carry me through this. But while we are waiting for me to level up on the PC display, I wanted you to run me through as to how the early game looks again. You talked a lot about Hurricane Gaming attacking top. I want you to run me through if it's just the level 6 Rise we're looking for, or if it's easier for Aliel in the early levels to burn that Ken and Flashy.
I would love to see an early roam up in the top side coming in from Aliel. I'm not sure if Cha-Cha is going to be able to keep up in early roams just because it is that Predator Galio onto Wen. So he's going to be able to look for potentially a lot of early roams himself. But for the side of MFT, I'm looking for them to try and attack bottom lane because it is that Ashe Tom Kench. And while, you've got the range on the Ashe, Tom Kench certainly can be punished, but it will be an early invade coming in from MFT. And this is a really nice approach because if you go ahead, set up vertical jungling, it means that the Volibear is going to have a very difficult time just hard forcing that top lane play.
A lot of the time, hard being down on it. Nightstar, sorry for leaving you hanging. I was listening to what you're saying and kind of looking forward to it. A 65 moves into mid lane. Just walking his way through now. Jungle pathing is meeting up towards the bottom side. I think it's worth mentioning that we haven't talked a little bit about the Ashe bottom lane. You were skeptical on the 2v2 down there, Nightstar. Ashe and Tom Kench, something we haven't seen for a long while.
Yeah, Ashe certainly hasn't been played. I don't believe it's been played in the PCS at all, but a lot of extra range, and especially with the Q nerf onto Jinx, it means that you are going to have the ability to trade a little bit better. But now Alia's just sprinting straight up top lane as we expected.
It'll be a quick gank. Tucker with a good evade though, but the flash stun immediately. He burns his own, but ICU catching right on up. Hello, Alia. One more hit, but no, under the turret. He takes two, and Tucker survives. Fancy footwork from the Kennen to make sure he survives.
Yeah, Alia actually just ignoring the fact that he didn't have any camps up topside and sprinted straight for that top lane. And now it could be a battle for the Scuttle Crab. I don't think he's going to win this.
Oh, hang on a minute. It is Volibear. Sky Splitter comes through, but 665 still has his flash available. One's moving as well, but Cha-Cha running out of mana despite burning him down. A nice little trade here. 665 is going to get the Scuttle Crab at the end of the day, but look at what was traded across the board. It's actually an advantage here for Taco as it's summoner for summoner.
Yeah, up in that topside hit, that's actually really, really nice for MFT because they burn both of the flashes on top jungle, and they only lose their top lane flash. And now,
look at this. I mean, 665 is just getting in his face, abusing that window we just talked about. Now for ICU, look at the size of the wave. 665 still maybe not going to dive this one, but MFT get priority top.
Yeah, and this is the power of the buff. Kennen has a little, I believe, extra 20 damage on that W early on, which means it's just so much extra harass damage coming down, especially in a melee matchup here against Irelia. But at the same time, we hit all the marks that we wanted to see, right? We got that early gank up to the top side, and the flash is burned on that Kennen, which makes him incredibly vulnerable for further plays coming in from the Irelia.
But we'll see if they can catch him, because he now has the boots and Alia without his flash available. That stun down's going to be harder. Nice little flawless duet. But the stun in response comes from ICU. CS about even up in that top side, all things considered, though. And just looking at jungle CS for the time being, 665 in such a good position. Clearing towards the bot side for now, Nightstar. Aliel a bit behind, having committed so many resources top.
Right, but at the same time, like, we know Aliao is going to fall behind on this Volibear just because he's really focusing on trying to accelerate these lanes. And now we're starting to get to the point, once we hit that level 6 onto the Rise, they could look for just a big power play to try and roam with the Rise and Volibear into one of these side lanes.
Yeah, kind of curious to see it. Cha close to level 6 now. One as well will have that hero's entrance, so a bit of counterplay still available. Predator also on the Galio with the tier 2 boots now picked up. So one is one worth watching, especially when for now MFT are heading towards the bottom side. I'm interested in this play. 665 try to get around Vision, but he will be spotted out.
Yeah, actually really creative pathing coming in from 665. And if that was a... Oh, okay, here we go.
What'd you say? Here we go. The Realm Warp immediately. Nightstar, bit of a genius. As ICU gets stunned up,
Not level 6 yet.
Without his ult, but look, the response play isn't going to be too late under turret. The shield of Duran, a 3-man taught ICU, caught up in the play. A 1-for-1 trade with the mid laner, picking up the kill. And Hurricane Gaming, it ain't going to be even with now the Dragon being taken too.
Yeah, I love that play from Hurricane Gaming. They find that kill. They see that 665 did show himself in that bottom lane, and they instantly move towards that top lane. I love the gank play there. Yes, ICU does go down in that play, but now he has Merc Treads. He has that extra EXP advantage. Taco still not level 6, although he will hit level 6 very shortly. And this should be a play that they're going to look to repeat over and over again.
We'll have a look again. Nice hero's entrance here. Was a quick response, but luckily it was only one.
Yeah, and the big thing as well is the fact that Wen's the one to get that kill instead of Taco. So while Taco still gets assist gold, it's not quite enough really to help even up this matchup. So both of them sitting on tier 2 boots. Of course, move speed is paramount in these range versus melee matchups, but now level 5 still on Aliao. Actually, I was going to say he's level 6. He can instigate the dive once more, but not quite there yet, and how actually going to take a lot of harass damage here.
Yeah, there's a good smoke screen down from 665. Remember, he has the ulti available. His damage is so much with the serrated Dirk under turret, running in. One more, the exhaust comes out. And that just pushes the support back. But look at what happens with bot. Look at what happens with this jungle. Aliao looking to trade up on the top side, but 665 still pushing ahead with CS. We're going to see if that dive comes through, because right now Taco is so far back from the top side turret, respecting the counterplay.
Yeah, they need level 6 here on this bottom lane. I don't think they're going to hit it, so we're going to see a dive come through, and very much a double kill on the table. Yeah,
sticking around, not great here. Enhal's already burnt the exhaust, but MFT have to pull this off. Ultimate from Wild not available either. The shield is ran with the Predator used. Justice punch, it'll just be Enhal for now. Going down in a quick moment, end of the line, couple more autos. He drops, and there's no response from Cha without the Realm Warp. Bot is open. And topside for now seems to be the same with Herald, so both sides just sacking their sideways to try and get an advantage.
I think we're identifying what each team really wants to do here.
Yeah.
For the side of MFT, it's about using this Gallia ultimate to try and just capitalize, get 2 kills every single time down in that bottom lane. That time they only snagged themselves 1. Bang 2 does hit level 6 in time to use that ultimate to try and slow it down, but I feel like he got a little bit too antsy there. I felt like if they hugged the tower, it was possible for them to try and get more out of it, but at the same time, it was probably just going to be deaths all around in that bottom lane. So at the very least, Hurricane Gaming, they do trade out, and they're really setting themselves up to be able to snowball around ICU on this Irelia, because they do have Rift Herald.
Yep. Yeah, and that Herald topside, it's such a good window when you have only 2 bits of turret plating left up. It's been nicely set up here by ICU. As bottom side, let's pause, because MFT are setting up a brush
Here
gang.
comes the squad.
They're going to come on out. Renhao doesn't need the ulti, but he needs the stun. And he finds it with the hero's entrance on top. And how about to feel the meaning of death again? Support with a 0-2, and MFT doubling down to try and speed the game up themselves.
Oh, he just respawned and got back to lane. Hysterics. So he just goes straight back into the death chamber. That will be Whale being able to pick up a couple more plates, but at the same time, again, like ICU, he is just building a lead for himself because, I mean, Taco can't even walk into lane knowing that, hey, my jungler and mid showed in that bottom lane. That means no matter what happens, if they just bring one extra member up top side, I'm probably just instantly dead. Even in a 1v1, I could very much well be dead too.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that in LPL, I'd see a lot of Keddons stay under turret thinking they can 2v1, and 50% of the time it works, and 50% of the time, yeah, it doesn't. So respect here for Taco for playing it safe, but first Turret Blood is auto-attack down. Just such an easy feat here from Hurricane Gaming's top laner. They move up by 1,000 gold in this game, and that means Herald can open up another part of the map here, Nightstar. It's a nice little touch that Hurricane Gaming can use in front of the next dragon too.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're the side of Hurricane Gaming, you just put Irelia down in that bot side, you move your dual lane to the mid lane, and then you just go ahead, once this dragon like spawns up here, you throw the Rift Herald down in that bottom lane, get the extra gold onto your Irelia. You also get bot lane priority to try and rotate over and get be able to play off of that extra advantage. But Alia just runs straight mid, pops it down. Not quite what I would have liked, but at the same time, you're still getting plate gold, and I see you in a good spot to actually set up a flank early on.
Yeah, at least give them priority in front of Dragon as well. Like, Hurricane Gaming with a 5-man in front of this objective, gonna even it out. And when we talked a lot about draft, about, you know, set up for these ultis, set up for, especially what MFT want to do, making sure that Hurricane Gaming aren't forced into any of these neutrals earlier than they'd like is a big feat. So it feels like Hurricane Gaming have had a really good read on also what you talked about with them, setting up their Aurelia, getting Alia in a position where he can play the aggressor early on. He's done that. He's sacrificed a bit of CS, but he's definitely done that. Now we have to look at how this transitions Nightstar, because there's an open top side. We have an Aurelia who is quite fed with Blade of the Ruined King, the first completed item in this first game.
Yeah, and we're going to have Hex Rift here, which means Alia, he can look for these big playmaking moves, especially with the ultimate.
Remember, Renhao has his own available. Spotted on a ward here for now. Cha-Cha going to make it a 4 versus 2, and 665 is nowhere nearby. Hurricane Gaming playing quite cautiously for now. Doesn't seem like they have a read on where the enemy jungle and mid laner is, so 1 and 665 getting a bit of a freebie here. They stay alive. Aliao just goes back to clearing away. For now as well, I want to point out that we do have a Herald in another minute 45, and I guess we got to gear up for that fight coming through soon.
Especially in the PCS, it feels like the second Herald is probably the most important fight that teams tend to opt to. Perhaps maybe a little bit ill-advised, I would say, given that Rift Herald or second Rift doesn't necessarily break the game, but you can gain a lot of tempo from snowballing that fight, because if you get Herald, you win the fight, all of a sudden the map is just cracked way wide open for you. So potentially the really big breaking point for Hurricane Gaming if they really want to take this tempo composition to its fullest.
As well, like when we see, you know, the Herald being used, when we see MFT getting caught in the side lane, things like the Asher are available. Chacha's ultimate there too. You talk about tempo, there are so many ways to advance it, like here, used on a back, and Renhao already disappeared. He can't save the AD carry. That's what we're talking about here from Bang number 2.
Oh baby, and now we're getting a teleport coming in.
The family's here, a hero's entrance, but late, I'm not sure. Everfrost saved the day, and one is doing work. This Galio almost killing Enhao. 665 survives for now while up in the top side. Here we go again. The Vanguard, it misses from ICU. You don't normally talk about this guy missing, but that sure as hell was.
Oh my lord, if that ult lands, for sure that would have been that solo kill. Being able to get that extra damage coming in would have made the difference, but it comes down to these small margins, and he's going to miss out on that kill. At the very least, it's not like he loses his life for it, but he does have to burn the flash. We get to see the replays. Just really nice read there. Of course, Alio right there in the bush. They have vision on that recall, but really nice timing coming in from that ult from the Ashe. And then rotation play. Again, this is why MFT with Galio is just a completely different team, because you can just kind of cheat priority.
Hang on a minute, we're back to a bit of action as we come out of the replay. Cha-Cha joining in though. Here's the arrow once again onto one. Helped out so much with the Emfrost coming through. Bang 2 is in for the ride. Slow with another volley. MFT don't want to be here. It's Hurricane Gaming, yes, Nightstar, on the chase, but on the slaughter against MFT.
And where does it come? It comes at the second Rift Herald. So now Hurricane Gaming, they get themselves 2 kills. It ends up being a 2-for-1 trade there, but now they get themselves second Rift Herald, and really this mid lane tower is just open for business. Already chunked into lethal range for Rift Herald. They could even break this without Rift Herald and look for a second in the tier 2, but we'll see. They can also force the dive here, of course, with that point-and-click stun coming in from the Volibear, but we will see the replay. ICU does get picked off, and we'll see how that happens. Oh, he misses the stun, and he's just dead. Yeah, this is really poor pathing.
Yeah, it really is. Again, has been a bit of a rough game, despite he's been set up for success. Counterplay, though, from Hurricane Gaming was gorgeous to watch.
Bang 2 on this Ashe has really shown up, nailing these ultimates so far, and really showing why Ashe can be played and just how she fits into a composition. I think it's a lot more compositionally contingent in just making sure the draft pieces work out, but when you have so much tempo with the power of another engage.
Oh my god, again! And now with a double knock up the hero's entrance. Whale just dead. Bang 2 already my MVP as one is in the middle. MFT, what's going on? Hurricane Gaming are picking apart the pieces. This team that's not even going to playoffs is styling on our 7th place team.
MFT looking a little bit lost, at least trying to keep up with Hurricane Gaming, and we have not called Hurricane Gaming a macro team whatsoever, but so far really playing around the vision game and generating these picks non-stop around Bang 2's Ashe.
I mean, even the Brom here, like, we're struggling to see the kind of combo that comes through when Anhao and Bang 2 are on a tear. Nicely done here from Hurricane Gaming once again. They're 3,000 gold in the lead. They picked up Dragon while we're at the replay. And Bang 2 is just not missing. 3-0-2. He has 5 out of 6 kill participation. I'm just going to double check on that because as we come back down, 5 out of 6. A big feat when Aliao has the exact same. And Hurricane Gaming in this early game have hit what they've wanted to hit. And then more. Bang 2 is in such a great position as this carry Ashe, as this utility AD carry on a team that is so far ahead, that has so much priority now in River.
Yeah, and you have to take a look at this MFT composition. It's going to be heavily reliant on 665 and Whale to carry because of the fact that Taco hasn't been able to get a whole lot of gold investment into himself because he's been denied because of the plays coming in from MFT. And then you have a Galio in the mid lane. So the magic damage, not exactly too high here, but they are just 4-man squatting ICU.
I mean, ICU is pinged out. This is kind of bad to die here. So many pings coming through from the rest of Hurricane Gaming, and he gets caught out, even though there was vision there placed for him. Lead for Hurricane Gaming in the meantime. That second Herald is going to be used to push topside. Mid is getting shoved in as well. It's a trade.
Yeah, if they get this mid tower, that would be really, really nice. And I would even say that would be a massive win in that regard. At the moment, it's more of an even trade here. Although that charge onto that top lane, potentially a lot of snowball potential if they can get that early Baron buff. But 665, he's taking on the split push duties as he goes ahead, rams a wave into that bottom lane, does a lot of damage to that bot tower as well.
Yeah, but the problem is for MFT right now, it's looking like it needs to come down to these fights, right? And even though it's 3k gold lead, let's talk a little bit more about how MFT operate. We have Kennen, we have Galio. We know how this team wants to play, giving Whale space, Renhao helping him achieve that. It just feels like Whale needs a couple more items before we start talking about that. Because right now, that all-in's not being given. Hurricane Gaming the pick potential again. Dodging away from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is Whale, but this is how Hurricane Gaming want to operate. keep picking off the pieces.
Yeah, and note that Whale does not have the cleanse going for him. Usually when you do see the Ashe, you do want to take the cleanse, but that's not the case in this game. So if he gets hit by any of these Ashe arrows, he will die. So that's going to be a big point in contention. But at the same time, you look at some of these other carries like 665. If he gets hit by the arrow, he's going to die. Taco will die. And now you're looking at a little bit of extra magic resistance coming in. So I love these more defensive focused builds from Hurricane Gaming, because for MFT, it feels like it's a lot about the burst coming in from the big Venn diagram ultimates from MFT, and that then sets up Jinx afterwards for those resets.
Oh no. Okay, well, it's ulti season here for Taco. The response good. ICU, the Flash Vanguard's edge. Yeah, not sure about that one. At least MFT get a kill.
Oh, that's not going to be good to review. Watching that one back is going to hurt there for ICU. Not performing up to par on his trademark champion of all things is a little bit wild, especially given the investment gone into him. And he's actually gone for the Gore Drinker this game, given that it's a bit of a low range interaction against MFT. I can see where the value is in the fact that if you're team fighting, which I would see this build more geared towards, you're going to get value out of that versus something like a Triforce where you really just want to hit side lane pressure as hard as possible.
I mean, I look at the team and I say, well, you got a couple of fridges in the front line, ICU as well. I kind of go in the standard build. I've noticed a lot of LPL top laners hitting Aurelia with Gore Drinker has been the standard path, so keeping it simple, but, you know, further to the point of 1 and 4, this top laner who has, as you said, resources invested in him in this game, not doing too well. A bit of a concern, because if we look out to the damage sources, we know it's Bang 2. We know Cha-Cha is going to be a tank. ICU, the other one here. And with that burst from MFT, there's also a bit of range damage from Whale. There's good scaling as well when we talk about 65, when we talk about Whale. So I'm interested to see these full-on fights, because we are coming up to a fourth dragon, the third one here for Hurricane Gaming. Hextech Dragon spawns and TP used from 1. Nightstar, what are we looking for?
It's going to be that flank coming in from Taco. Look for the Venn diagram ultimates to come through.
He's got flash as well. He's got flash as well. This looks pretty easy onto Bang 2. He's eaten up, and Hal's not getting away. But unfortunately, the damage is still there. The burst, and after the fact, running in, Whale has free access. Cha-Cha in the front line, but against his team, I don't know why. Neither Winter's Bite. He's stunned up. Hurricane Gaming had everything until they threw it all away.
Oh, it wasn't even that great of an ultimate coming in from Taco, but it sections off just enough of Hurricane Gaming, and what do you know, it's just in time for the Baron as well. MFT, they'll path towards the Purple Worm, and I mean, it's just Bang 2 and Aliao left remaining. Aliao does have Flash and Smites, but this would be a very hard steal given how much HP he has.
They're going to spot him out in the back as well. Remember that Bang 2 has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It's going to be flowing through into the jungler. Aliao has to time it perfectly into the backside. Bang 2 hitting over the wall though, and Wern is taking it up. A fake there from Aliao. Let's get over the wall. They're going to 50-50. He's over. He's got it. And he's got it. Hurricane Gaming have taken the game back in their favor. But the fight after the fact is what's next is Cha-Cha with the follow through, and one wants out of there. A Justice Punch builds the space, but now it's up to Whale and Renhao to do the same. A Winter's Bite's good. Renhao sacrificing his life, and Whale's up next. Hurricane Gaming, just like that, the Smooth Criminals return.
Oh my lord, Hysterics. Hurricane Gaming with the game of their split here. Pulling out all the stops. Aliao gets a fantastic steal, almost briefs himself by clicking the Hextech portal, but flashes over, gets the smite, and with that, because of the low death timers, ICU is able to teleport in, Cha-Cha is able to teleport in, and then the chase is on. They're also going to break that top tower that did get softened up by Shelly early on as well, and we'll get to see the side of Hurricane Gaming mop up these extra 2 kills. This is such a massive advantage here for the side of Hurricane Gaming now, as for the side of MFT, oh, it's getting a little bit tricky, but you look at 665, 4-1-3, 195 CS. He is still a very, very strong player here, and Alio might get caught if entering.
Walking into Taco. Now, Taco has a void staff, so we are seeing pure team fight cannon that is ripping up for these ultimates. I like right now that Hurricane Gaming are trying to use the Baron buff, though. On to more important matters. They're 3,000 gold up yet again here at this game. A second dragon for MFT, though, worth mentioning is, never mind, maybe this is more worth talking about. Hurricane Gaming moving into enemy vision, but for now it doesn't look like MFT can do too much. The Baron is overpowering. The top side minions are going to start pushing in, and Hurricane Gaming sitting bot looking for more gold, which is pretty easy to access.
Yeah, for Hurricane Gaming, they could potentially look for a dive right here, but they do need that mid-wave to help get set up. Taco's looking, he has the flash available, so flash ult available on the cannon is going to be massive, and then you have the follow-up coming in from the Galio, so Venn diagram online.
But look at what Cha-Cha's doing in the mid lane. Opening up mid here is 665, thinking he has to take a play. Taco does it though. Right on in, surprised in the hero's entrance only for Enhal.
Disengage.
MFT have taken so much damage. Aliao jumping in. It's ICU in back to Cha-Cha.
No,
it's over the wing. The Everfrost there though. One again with a quick double. Bang 2 now to step up to the play, but Whale is on Reset City. Cha-Cha the last one, and even though MFT have been blown up, it's Hurricane Gaming's funeral that we're going to tonight.
Hurricane Gaming, they just get blown away. They get the disengage, but ICU just overcommits. He ends up jumping back in, gets stunned up, and when he's the one to fall, that really sets off the rest of the dominoes in that fight. A lot of their damage does fall away in that regard as we get to see the replay. So, I mean, nice flank angles, but like you catch low priority targets with the Kennen ultimate. At this point in time, you just reset the fight, but ICU, he dashes in, gets all the way into the middle of them. They get baited by that. So then Wen just gets an easy taunt on multiple members.
That Everfrost as well, that paid dividends. And I'm finally seeing Renhal and Whale work together. Really nice here from MFT, and as the ace comes through, once again, folks, gold has bounced back to dead even. Not a surprise, and we're back to in front of a dragon, the third one for both the teams. And I think we need to kind of take state of the game here and what's going to be available for this next fight, because the third dragon's important. Hurricane Gaming don't have as much priority as they used to. I want to take note of the ults that's not available. It's Wern's here is, okay, jungle v jungle for now. Remembering the global pressure, and Channel Across the Arrow comes through. Collateral damage to build space. That might be enough to send MFT back as this dragon now spawns.
Yeah, it looks like Hurricane Gaming, they still have control over the bottom half of the map, right? Because they set up all those wards, setting up for that Baron push, and all of them are still up. So it will be a bit of a trade when it comes to side lane pressures, but Hurricane Gaming do trade up in that regard. However, now MFT, this composition starting to scale up as we now look at Hurricane Gaming to really slow down with their scaling. You have an Ashe who is going more for a bit of an on-hit build, so it doesn't scale as hard as something like the crit that's going to come out from Whale. And then you also have, of course, our resident tank Rise, so his damage is going to drop off as well. So this is really the power point for Hurricane Gaming. After 4 items or after 3 items, then it's really just MFT all the way.
I mean, as well, especially with how the fights are set up, I think it's important that the specific fight coming through from MFT, that all-in from Chen and from Wern on multiple targets, is what finds success. Now, there is going to be a fight in about 4 minutes, no matter what. That Dragon Soul available for Hurricane Gaming, but Baron has my curiosity and has piqued my attention as well. 15 seconds till that spawns. Vision for now in favor of MFT, but it is pretty blank. We still have top lane supers pushing in that final wave. Someone has to answer that, so that'll give time for Hurricane Gaming to reset the vision and clear out some of the wards from MFT.
Now it just comes down to a bit of a vision game to try and get control in these areas. MFT, because they have the double AD composition, they can really blow through that Baron if left unattended by Hurricane Gaming with their wards. And on the flip side, again,
Alio
is
okay.
out adventuring.
Yeah. Guess sitting near ICU. Close call with the Shield of Duran. Probably going to force that ulti, but he gets away nevertheless. ICU trying to be a side lane threat for the time being too. He's just picked up GA. And worth mentioning here that still strong in the side lane despite being 1 and 6. So Hurricane Gaming grouping up the score, and for now, ICU with the teleport trying to put pressure down while they sneak towards the Baron, but haven't started it yet.
Yeah, and their damage is going to be a little bit lower because again they have a rise in the rise for a mid laner, so damage to objectives not that high, and with an Ashe, on hit Ashe namely, it's also going to be a bit lower damage. So they're just going to go ahead, push mid, get that tower. Whale though kind of chunked down, so
okay, Unbreakable Door goes up. There's an exhaust on 665, but the ulti from one saving the day. Defensive use, but still the Shield of Duran will come in as well. He's chasing up. ICU might get the solo kill and tuck on the solo lane, but Aliel drops down. Jungle V top laner.
Chacha's here.
Chacha wants to
Whale's
do
dead.
the dance, and Hal with his timing. Beautiful onto Whale. This support has been so good, but the fight ain't over yet. Bang 2 hitting down Wen, but Golden is here. A 665 already with a double. Flushes into melee range. Graves put the cigar back in his mouth for that.
oh baby, earning his money right there, gets a triple kill, collecting those death and taxes as ICU finds the 1v1 at long last. He gets that 1v1 fight that he just has been looking for the entire game, but at the same time, MFT, they're the ones to get big value out of that team fights, while Hurricane Gaming, they really needed to win that fight in a lot more convincing fashion.
Just a rally of things with Gore Drinker, yeah, beautiful to see on 1/3 of his HP, taking it out. Nicely done, Night Star. This is the rest of the fight where Chacha tried to flank.
This is a good flank coming in from Chacha. They get the kill onto Whale, but I mean, the flash forward coming in from Chacha to finish off a Braum ends up overextending his position and allowing just 665 to just take over this fight. So slight mispositioning there coming in from Chacha at the end, and MFT able to punish that really, really hard. And now you take a look at the state of the game. Gold's
again.
Still pretty close.
Flash
but,
away,
man,
look at 65. The arrow coming through. It's missed though. 65 can chase up. That's so much damage. The 4-item Graves. He picked up 3 in the last fight, Night Star. He's humongous.
Man, now they're just going to turn their attention over to this Baron buff. Yes, there's a control ward, but what can they do about it for Hurricane Gaming? Can they get one more steal? It's going down way too fast. And Hurricane Gaming, they're just going to try and prioritize getting position on this next dragon. It will be Dragon Soul, possibly.
They can't, because Taco's coming in. He's just going to ult this straight away. Getting chased down. There it is. Chacha bringing it in, but it's about one here with the ulti as well. Justice punch away. 5 members in front of the dragon. Soul point being denied, and they don't have their support. ICU isn't here either. This too is going to drop down. MFT hold the reins of this game now.
I think potentially if ICU had used his teleport to come in on a flank, it was possible to take that fight, but at the same time, you don't want to just toss the game at that point for Hurricane Gaming. So I respect their decision to let that one go, but at the same time, for MFT now, like, this is where your composition gains steam, right? You're at 3.5 towards 4 items, and for Hurricane Gaming, now you're starting to slow down. You need to find that one big fight while ICU still has this GA. They need to do it very soon.
I just like that they're still looking for the pick potential, right? Open things up. There's no objectives up, so you're not going to find too much, but especially with an inhibitor open up in the top side, inhibitor down on the bottom side. Yo.
We have a lot of hourglasses in this game.
True.
Even the Volibear glass.
Yeah. It's rare to see. Haven't seen it in a while. Before the Dead Man's Plate, too. So there's a lot of priority here on buying time in these fights.
Mm-hmm. It really is all about this last fight, right? Because you want that extra stasis to go in, the extra burst damage as well coming in from the Volibear, the AP ratios. are nothing to scoff at, but it all comes down to this next fight. If it happens on this, oh, they miss a big ultimate.
Alial wants to get back to Fountain, though. He's been poked down, and Wern's Hero's entrance still not available, so for MFT, timing crucial. They still open up the mid lane inhibitor. Someone's got to back soon, or they've got to make the commitment towards mid, because look at the bottom lane inhibitor. It is down. The minions are crashing in. Super's into the base. These Baron recalls need to be used now.
Yeah, they do have Baron recall, so that means they will be able to get those recalls pretty quickly. As, oh, they're looking at chase!
But Everfrost usage, beautiful again. One's been doing this all game.
Just a different beast on that Galio pick, and he's really flexing those Galio muscles here. Really being the, I would say, the hero for most of this game. Yes, 665 did get that massive pop-off in that last team fight in the mid lane, but he also dropped the Baron. So, you know, when doing exactly what the doctor ordered for him on that pick, as we get to see the gold difference, we can see story of the game. Now it's scaling starting to kick in. It's going to be a tough mountain to climb for Hurricane Gaming.
Yeah, especially when they're going to face down a team fight no matter what in 2 minutes, 20 seconds. We have that final dragon approaching, and that Hextech Soul up for grabs. Feels like come down to this, and you already talked about all the Zhonyas in the game. I'm counting 4, but I'm also counting the GAs, the potential GAs coming up as well. One here for ICU. In the bottom side, I see a stopwatch on Renhal too. And I'm expecting we're going to get a GA from Whale at some point in this game. So there's a lot of, again, time to buy space. And buy more time, I guess.
Actually, I'm hoping we see a QSS come out on these MFT carries, because again, it is that Ashe, and if she lands a key arrow on either the Graves or the Jinx, it could spell doom if Wen isn't fast enough to respond. They're really just over-relying on Wen to bail them out in these situations if they get caught out, being able to respond with the hero's entrance. And now we're going to see Bang 2 get his own stopwatch. So we have... Man, we've got like 2 stopwatches, 4 Zhonyas, a GA. We've got a lot of stasis.
We do. Get ready for it as MFT is channeling up mid. They're not even interested in this neutral. Look at this. ICU committing to the split push. MFT committing to barreling mid, but they can't do it. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. The board delivers here as Renhal puts it up, and one is waiting by the wing, ready to ult in. Baron has expired, and as Realm-Warp comes through, he's already disappeared. ICU sticks in the top lane, but one is the one who backs. So we stand for now, waiting for another 40 seconds. MFT not sure if they could have ended the game.
Man, that was a really close transgression there, as it almost turned into a bit of a base race, but it all comes down to this fight. Watch for the Venn diagrams. Teleport coming in.
Okay,
great angle.
Flanked again. Taco has it all delivered to him, and how eats him up immediately, gets the movement speed, but Taco still wants to chase up. Tongue Lash slows down, and Fred does the same as well, but Alial actually the one who's caught out himself. ICU behind him with the Vanguard's edge, but Alial is the smite for the Dragon Soul, and maybe even the pick develops some more. The GA will come through shortly as ICU is getting low and the whole team on top. The arrow does nothing. Resurrection about to happen, but he's going to be waiting with open arms. MFT take it. Dragon, in the meantime, goes down to Whale, and Hurricane Gaming have just been kaput.
Oh man, if Hurricane Gaming were able to get the Dragon, that would have possibly made up for the scaling in their composition, but now MFT, they get themselves all those kills, and they still get themselves, the Hextech Soul.
Look at this. I mean, one has a Rabadon, and normally Galio wouldn't be able to do this, but Chacha is full tank. Get in! You're going nowhere. 1, 7, 2, and 10. Another MVP of this game for Meta Falcon team.
Full tank and also full armor. And there's really just no ounce of magic resistance on this full tank Rise, so he just does nothing in a Galio matchup that usually we don't see the Galio do a ton of damage, but now it's MFT. They get themselves both of the big buffs. They get themselves Hex Tech Soul and the Baron buff. It really is just writing on the wall.
Yeah, it's hard to see at this point what Hurricane Gaming do. They're against a sold up MFT. They've got an open mid inhibitor as well. And now I guess we just wait for the Baron play to pursue, because we've got 2 minutes 35 of it. We know that this team has pretty good silators at 665 and a lot of DPS coming through from Wales. So Hurricane Gaming trying to push a threat of their own, but for now, MFT are more concerned about the other side of the map.
Hurricane Gaming at this point, they're just trying to use their jungler as a bit of a bait tool. Hopefully someone bites, but with everyone showing mid and top lane, that won't happen. Malia's just going to crash one more wave, as he's not going to be able to do a whole lot to try and hold these in his. But MFT getting the slow. Oh my!
What can you do but laugh? And Hal didn't see that coming. We didn't see that coming. MFT pulled the trigger, and finally we get in front of the Nexus in 40 minutes. It was a bit of a slug, but Meta Falcon team came to shine. They pulled their all in together, and with a Quadra turning into a Penta. Yes, even post-death, Penta and a Meta Falcon team win.